Stop building your business like a trauma response. Welcome to the space where strong Black women finally stop apologizing for needing rest, where hustle is no longer our identity, and where softness becomes the most strategic decision we will ever make. I'm your host, Leanne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French. And I'm your guide from burnout to boundaries, from doing to being, from strong to soft, and loving every second of it. Today, I had the profound honor of sitting down with Dr. Roselyn, a visionary who is helping Black women professionals and entrepreneurs redefine what power, success, and softness can look like when they come together. Dr. Roselyn is not just changing individual lives, she is shifting an entire economy, one boundary, one system, one collaboration at a time. Her work is rooted in the belief that Black women deserve businesses and careers that feel as good on the inside as they look on the outside, and that our soft girl era is not about stepping back, it is about stepping fully into our power by design. She is transforming the narrative for thousands of Black women who have been conditioned to believe that rest is laziness and that boundaries are selfishness. Her impact is generational, her work is revolutionary, and her message is one we all need to hear. So let's dive into the insights Dr. Rosalind shared with me, because what she revealed is going to challenge everything you thought you knew about ambition, rest, and what it really means to build something sustainable. Here is the truth we do not talk about enough. For Black women professionals and entrepreneurs, entering your soft girl era is not about slowing down your ambition. It is about radically upgrading your power by shifting from survival mode hustle to strategy, systems, and support. We have been told over and over again that softness and success cannot coexist, especially as Black women navigating corporate space and entrepreneurship. So we overwork, we overperform, we try to out hustle systemic barriers instead of designing businesses and careers that protect us while they grow. We wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. We glorify the grind. We celebrate being the strong Black woman who never breaks, never bends, never asks for help. But here's what the data shows. Black women are already the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs in this country, building a $390 billion economy and creating hundreds of thousands of jobs. The problem is not our drive, it is not our talent, it is not our ambition. The problem is that too many of us are building businesses that leave us exhausted, underpaid, and still in financial precarity. We are building empires on the foundation of our own depletion. So Dr. Rosen invited me, and now I am inviting you into this unexpected perspective. Your soft girl era is a strategy, not an aesthetic. Rest, boundaries, and emotional wellness are operational decisions, not luxuries. Systems, collaboration, and financial literacy are how Black women move from having a business to owning assets, creating jobs, and shifting power without burning out. Instead of celebrating strong Black women's struggle as a badge of honor, we are going to reframe softness as knowing your numbers, building systems from day one, collaborating instead of competing, and using tools like technology and artificial intelligence to buy back your time. That is the core challenge to the usual narrative. You do not have to choose between being soft and being a serious, scalable, wealth building entrepreneur. You get to be both by design. Dr. Rosen shared three key insights with me that I want you to hold close because these are the pillars of building a business or career that honors your brilliance and your boundaries. First, softness is a business strategy, not a weakness. Building with intention rather than urgency protects your mental health and your money. When you prioritize rest, boundaries, and clarity, you make better decisions. You negotiate better deals, and you avoid chaos with a logo masquerading as a business. This is not about being less ambitious. This is about being more intentional. This is about recognizing that the way you have been taught to build, the way you have been conditioned to hustle, is not sustainable. It is not scalable. And it is certainly not soft. Second, systems are how you protect your softness and scale your impact. Start building simple systems from day one. How do clients find you? How do you get paid? How do you deliver consistently? Systems, processes, and shared back office support are not just nice to have. They are how Black women move from overworked solopreneurs to owners of scalable, job creating companies. Without systems, you're not running a business. You are running a never ending emergency response team with yourself as the only member. Third, you are not meant to build alone. Collaboration, money mastery, and technology are your leverage. Teaming up with other Black women through partnerships, teaming agreements, or shared back office structures lets you go after bigger contracts and opportunities you could never touch alone. Financial literacy, knowing your numbers and being funding ready, including leveraging community development financial institutions, is part of your self care and your soft girl era. And thoughtful use of technology and artificial intelligence can dramatically reduce your workload and make it cheaper and easier to launch and run your business. If you remember nothing else from today, remember this: your softness, your boundaries, and your systems are not optional. They are the infrastructure for the empire you say you want. Now, let me share three real world stories that Dr. Roselyn walked me through, because these stories are proof that this is not theory. This is happening right now. This is the revolution unfolding in real time. The first story centers on Dr. Rosie Thomas, a financial expert who works with Black women who have been laid off, especially from government roles, and helps them transform that crisis into sustainable legacy building businesses. After mass layoffs of Black women from federal jobs, many found themselves at a crossroads, returned to a system that had failed them, or build something of their own. Dr. Rosie stepped into this gap, drawing on her financial expertise and 2 decades of experience to help them translate urgency into intention. Here's what she found: many women started businesses from a place of urgency and survival, not strategy. They risked simply recreating a stressful job for themselves, long hours, inconsistent income, and no systems, under the label of entrepreneurship. They struggled with access to capital, limited financial literacy, and a lack of clarity about their numbers and business model. They were building businesses that looked like freedom on the outside, but felt like captivity on the inside. So Dr. Rosie created a framework that embodies a soft but strategic approach. She teaches women to build with intention, not just urgency, coaching them to pause long enough to design a real business, not just hustle work. She emphasizes three traits that separate thriving owners from stagnant ones: clarity, consistency, and coachability, all of which create more ease and confidence. She has them start with their personal and business numbers before approaching lenders, building financial literacy and self trust. She directs them to community development financial institutions that exist specifically to fund underserved entrepreneurs, including Black women. And she emphasizes building three core systems from day one: client onboarding, invoicing and cash flow management, and a marketing pipeline. The outcomes? Women who follow this approach shift from chaos and constant hustle to repeatable, system driven businesses. By learning their numbers and building systems, they become more fundable, more resilient, and less emotionally and financially fragile. Instead of bouncing from gig to gig, they position themselves to build legacies that can outlast any one employer or client. Her message: let the urgency push you, but do not let it rush you, deeply resonates with Black women conditioned to figure it out quickly, often at their own expense. This story is so powerful because it shows how softness can look like slowing down enough to design systems, understand your money, and seek support instead of reacting from panic. It directly supports the idea that Black women's soft girl era in business is about intentional strategy, not decreased ambition. The second story is about Black women entrepreneurs in the United States collectively who have built a $390 billion economy through their businesses. From 2014 to 2025, their growth has been explosive, but it has also highlighted a persistent revenue gap that we cannot ignore. Here are the challenges. Despite leading in business formation, Black women owned firms historically generated far less revenue than other women owned businesses. On average, $24,000 in 2019 compared to $142,900 for all women owned businesses. Many were undercapitalized, over reliant on personal funds, and operating without the systems or scale needed to fully monetize their skills. Structural barriers, racism, sexism, pay gaps, and reduced access to funding constrained growth even as business formation surged. But here's what is shifting: a move toward owning assets and building employers, not just solo hustles, to close the revenue gap. Greater focus on collaboration and building together, including joining forces to pursue bigger contracts and customers. Moving from job replacement to wealth building business models, including focusing on higher value services, scaling teams, and improving operations. The outcomes are stunning. From 2014 to 2019, the number of businesses owned by Black women grew 50%, the highest growth rate of any female demographic. Black women accounted for 42% of all net new women owned businesses in that period, despite being only 14% of the female population. By 2024, 2.02 million Black women owned businesses generated $390 billion in revenue, with employment at these firms growing 44.4% between 2019 and 2024, creating 647,000 jobs. From 2019 to 2024, Black women owned employer firms increased their average revenue 34.2%, signaling movement toward higher earning, more scalable models. For decades, Black women faced systemic underemployment, pay inequity, and discrimination in corporate contexts, which pushed many into entrepreneurship out of necessity. Over the last decade, that push has transformed into a massive economic force. Yet much of this entrepreneurship has been reactive, launched in response to layoffs, stalled careers, or toxic workplaces rather than proactively designed for scale and sustainability. We have been building out of survival, not out of vision. These businesses are not just personal income sources, they are community anchors, job creators, and vehicles for generational wealth. The story underscores the urgency of helping Black women shift from doing it all themselves to building systems, teams, and collaborations that allow them to rest, scale, and thrive without martyrdom. The third story examines a model for how Black women owned businesses can move from isolated, overwhelmed solopreneurs to powerful, collaborative enterprises by building together in stages. Many Black women entrepreneurs are too small on paper to qualify for big contracts or corporate or government requests for proposals, despite having the skills. They duplicate effort, three separate bookkeepers, software stacks, and administrative burdens, leaving them exhausted and with little time to be in their zone of genius. The mindset often remains at the level of boss lady identity rather than true ownership in business building, limiting their strategic choices. So here's the three-stage collaboration and systems building model that aligns with a soft strategic approach to power. Stage one, teaming agreement. Three Black women owned firms sign a simple teaming agreement to pursue one big contract together, naming one as the prime contractor. No mergers yet, just a first date with a paper trail to test collaboration and access bigger opportunities. Stage two, shared back office. Before merging anything customer facing, they merge the back office. One bookkeeper, shared software licenses, one assistant, one unified brand and website to present as a full service shop while staying legally separate. This shift reduces admin overload and frees the founders to focus on what each is brilliant at, bringing more ease and less chaos. Stage three, new entity or ownership structure. Only after winning work and running shared operations do they consider a more permanent structure. Options include forming a holding company, a worker cooperative, or a jointly owned fourth agency of record for big clients, while each maintains her own limited liability company. The author pairs this with a mindset shift, move from job having to business owning, and from cute titles like boss lady to simply being the boss, the ultimate authority over a real scalable business. The outcomes? This staged approach lets Black women owners access larger contracts they would never qualify for alone, while managing risk with low commitment early steps. Shared systems and back office support dramatically reduce overwhelm, allowing founders to reclaim time, energy, and emotional bandwidth, hallmarks of a soft girl era rooted in power. When successful, this model leads to entities that are truly built for scale, not just survival, positioning them to grow revenue and create more jobs. This story is deeply aligned with the theme. It shows how collaboration and systems, the backbone of a soft strategic life, help Black women go after bigger opportunities with less individual strain. So here's the question Dr. Roselyn left me with, and the one I am leaving you with today. If you stopped building your business like a one woman emergency response team and started building it like the soft, powerful CEO of your life, what is one system, one boundary, or one collaboration you will put in place this week to buy back your time and protect your peace? I want you to do something right now. Write down one system you will start. Maybe it is a clear client onboarding process or a weekly money date. Name one boundary you will implement. Maybe it is no responding to client messages after a certain hour. Identify one potential collaborator, another Black woman professional or entrepreneur you can reach out to about partnering or sharing resources. Pick one. Start this week and let that be the first brick in a softer, more powerful way of building your career or business. Because here's the truth that no one wants to say out loud: your exhaustion is not a strategy, your burnout is not a brand, and your struggle is not your story. You were not put on this earth to prove how much you can endure. You were put here to build, to create, to lead, and to rest while doing it. Your soft girl era is not a retreat. It is a revolution. And it starts with you choosing yourself, your rest, your boundaries, and your brilliance by design. It starts with you deciding that you will no longer build your business like a trauma response. It starts with you believing that you deserve to feel as good on the inside as your business looks on the outside. So I am asking you today, will you choose softness as your strategy? Will you choose systems as your protection? Will you choose collaboration as your power? Because the world is waiting for what you will build when you are no longer running on empty. The world is waiting for the empire you will create when rest is part of the plan. The world is waiting for you to step into your soft girl era, not as a pause, but as the most powerful move you have ever made. Now go build it softly, strategically, and unapologetically.